As usual, I wait my obligatory, 20, 30 seconds to see if this thing's actually making it out there. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I'll get started. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Wow, this is a little different, but something happened this morning that I saw. Good morning, everyone, as you come in. Of course, I'm Roy Potter, and this is the Potter Expositor, my kind of spontaneous report that I do every once in a while. When I feel the urge. I came out for breakfast this morning, as I often do. Yeah, you can't see the mountains behind me. Uh, there are fires, not just the California fires, but there are fires in the desert out here, and the mountains are practically invisible, and it smells like campfire. It reminds me of when I was in Bosnia. They use wood to heat most of their homes in Bosnia, and during the winter time, man, it was you could barely breathe, and it'd burn your eyes and your nostrils and your lungs. Poor people there. I don't know how they stood it all their lives, but at any rate, you do what you need to do, right? The reason why I'm coming on this morning, I want you to remember this: the Still report. Go to the Still report here on YouTube and go see the one that say it was the one he did late last night around 8 p.m. It's called it was a CIA deception operation. That's the name of it. You need to go listen to this because Bill he puts very good succinct reports out there, and this one is particularly important. And I kind of labeled this video about what I thought was the most important. Our tax dollars and our trust, our the people's requirement that our public officials, bureaucrats, elected officials, etc., take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, is so that we can at least have some kind of assurance that what we send them to do, they will do to the best of their abilities, according to what we want them to do under the law. And I have been saying for a number of years that the FBI and the intelligence community has violated that trust, and indeed has been in the middle of criminal acts for years. I've been saying that a long time. Anybody that's been following me knows that. This entire thing with the coup with the president has uncovered that entire situation. That our intelligence community, the FBI, the CIA, etc., and those in the deep state who have ties to Hillary Clinton, etc., did an unlawful coup, a coup d'etat, which, as Bill Still says, and I believe Greg Jarrett said it also, it's at least sedition, and it's very likely that there's treason involved as well, not to mention the myriad of other crimes that have been committed to try to cover their tracks. First of all, the crimes they committed initially, like with Uranium One, those types of things, those types of criminal acts to begin with, and then the efforts by this CIA operation to cover their tracks and to cause a coup d'etat against a duly elected president of the United States. In other words, it's a coup d'etat not just against the president, but against the American people. So these people that we sent there to do this job for us, in fact, fought against us as very few enemies rarely have. They have been our worst enemy. As I say on the slogan on my channel, our most dangerous domestic enemy is the intelligence community, and that includes the FBI and the DOJ, the State Department, etc. Well, at any rate, so let me get to the point here. So Bill Still is giving this report, and he has clips from Sean Hannity and from that include Greg Jarrett, Greg Jarrett, Sarah Carter, and someone else. I'm not sure who it was right now. And the point that I want to make is this: this uncovering of this criminal activity by our intelligence community, primarily the IC members of the FBI, the CIA, and the DOJ. The uncovering of this criminal activity didn't happen because of our illustrious law enforcement that have swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, number one, but also is supposed to be so clean. You know, you watch TV and the FBI is always shown to be this wonderful organization with all these wonderful people, when in fact it's been degenerate for the last 20 years at least, maybe longer. Propaganda. It's government propaganda, these television shows that show the IC being so wonderful. So, at any rate, it wasn't the IC that uncovered this information and brought it forward. It wasn't them even investigating themselves. It wasn't even whistleblowers. It wasn't even the decent people in those organizations who saw there was a problem because they were just too afraid to come forward because of their pensions or for retaliation. Not saying that isn't real and something to be concerned with, but where there's a will, there's a way, and they should have found a way. A few have, but it's been very, very few. So why has all this come out? Not because of the efforts of those who are sworn law enforcement officers to serve and protect the American people. No, it didn't come from there. It came from possibly at least hundreds, if not thousands, of individual people who have brought this thing to the fore and haven't let go of it. It's like I've said, we had to make noise. We had to make a lot of noise. And then you have people like Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, Chris Farrell of Judicial Watch, Greg Jarrett, Sean Hannity, and all of the other people on YouTube and Twitter who have been pushing this thing and saying this is unlawful, this is sedition at the very least, and possibly treason, and we need to get to the bottom of it. And it's been our little people down here with no law enforcement authority other than the Constitution of the United States, which really is the supreme law. The people really are the final arbiter of that document. And we came out here and we said, no, we're not taking this. We're not standing idly by. We're going to uncover it. We found things that the FBI, the DOJ should have, but they refused to. All the corruption of Clinton, all of that. By the way, a lot of people who are threadeteers, that I use that as a pejorative, okay? Not all people that do threads are bad, but the threadeteers I'm not talking about, made a point. Thank you. Like I say, I'm out here for breakfast. Made a point of talking or trying to say that the jet, remember that jet that was in Little Rock, Arkansas that belonged to the DOJ? They said, oh, you know, the DOJ, Sessions is out there. The FBI is getting all these documents to expose Hillary. Well, it's come out. And that jet, if I remember telling you, was actually originally belonged to President Trump. It was his personal jet. He sold it, and the DOJ ended up buying it. Well, people that seen that jet down there thought, oh, they're gathering all this information on Hillary, and she's going to go to Gitmo, and all that stuff. Well, guess what? No. They were down there to get the documents so that nobody else could find them. Remember, Hillary owns the FBI. We found out that she has had the web digital keys since her days at the Rose Law Firm in Arkansas. And she was a patent attorney, and the patent office is probably the most corrupt out of all of our bureaucracies that are non-law enforcement. It's probably the most corrupt. And so they would steal these patents, and Clinton was able to get a hold of them. So that's the reason why the FBI and the DOJ won't go after her, because she technically really does own them. She really does own them. So it wasn't the law enforcement people that have forced this information out and done the investigations. And my point has always been, if our people, without the tools of law enforcement, can uncover these crimes and these corruptive practices, all of this corruption, law enforcement should have been able to do it. And I want to remind everybody, they refused to do so. It wasn't just that they couldn't, or that their hands were tied, or whatever. It's that they refused because why? They were involved. They were culpable. That's why we have the Constitution. As Jefferson said, we need protection from criminals, and we have laws to do that, and then we have the Constitution to protect us from those same criminals when they get into government. And that's what's happened, and it's been a long time coming. President Trump, as I said in my broadcast yesterday, my live streams yesterday, he needs to take the gloves off. He needs to get ruthless and aggressive. Yes, he does. So I'll end this by just saying, hey, Bill Still, you need to go see that. It was a CIA deception operation from the start. It was a CIA deception operation, the same kind of thing they run overseas, which they're supposed to not be able to do here legally. But Congress helped them to do it. The corrupt Congress helped them to do it. So go see that. It's very short, like I said, maybe 10 minutes, probably shorter than what this live stream is. And the important part again is what? Whistleblowers get killed. Yeah. But you know what? So do soldiers. If you watch these stupid programs on TV with the FBI and all that, they always, they're risking their lives for the people, and it's hogwash. Okay? Yeah, they can get killed. Yeah, they can have lies told about them, have their lives ruined, slander, libel. I know a lot about that. I've been the recipient of a lot of that. But it comes down to the point, if they're going to be honorable, they have to speak up. If a little old former lieutenant colonel can speak up, they had better. And if they don't, they should be tried for accessory after, well, if not conspiracy, at least an accessory. All right? So I don't really care what their excuse is for not wanting to come forward. And right now, as a lot of people have said, right now is the time to come forward, ladies and gentlemen in the IC and the law enforcement communities, right now. Because if you don't, we're going to say that you were involved, that your silence was agreement, that you were part of it. That is dependent upon if Trump takes the gloves off completely and gets ruthless and aggressive and uses his Marshal Service, DHS, the Treasury Department, and the U.S. Marine Corps. A lot of people poo-poo that. I'm saying in a support role to take down these criminals that they're not just in these institutions, the FBI, the DOJ, the IC. They not just control them, the top level. These organizations are permeated with these traitors and these seditionists, and it's time that they go away. And those who are guilty of these crimes need to be arrested, tried, and either jailed or hung. That's how serious this is. So again, I want to congratulate all the little people, as Bill Still and Sarah Carter and Greg Jarrett said, all the little people that were out there that made this information available and uncovered the lies and the crimes. Because our FBI and DOJ didn't just not want to do it, they refused to do it. See why we have to be loud, ladies and gentlemen? This is why we have to be loud. Okay, they're going to bring my breakfast, so I'm going to go ahead and go. Thanks for listening, and we got to keep it up. By the way, there's a lot of internecine fighting going on right now. I want to make everybody absolutely understand something here. Just like in the Continental Congress, and I mentioned this yesterday, I believe, there was a lot of debate amongst the patriots that were there. And it got ugly. They had closed-door sessions because they knew how ugly it was going to get. Accusations of betrayal, treason. Well, they couldn't do treason yet. It really wasn't available. But betrayal, those types of things. That's unfortunate, but it's part of the reality of the debate. The one thing that we have to remember, we might not agree with, one group or another. I have some problems with Q, I do, because I know it's a leftist Marxist, and people don't want to hear it, but it is. It's a leftist Marxist infiltration into the community. But it's filled with a lot of good people that don't know that just want Trump to succeed. Okay? And that's why Trump probably hasn't acted against it the way he probably could have. But I see these internecine fights, like I said, the thing with Bill Mitchell and Amalga News Network and, all these little internecine things that are going on. People have to survive, and sometimes they make bad decisions. That doesn't mean they're evil. It's only evil if once the bad action has been pointed out to them, that they don't stop it. They don't repent, that they don't try to make reparations. Remember that. What we all are doing here is trying to uncover the criminal actions of the deep state and the intelligence community, and what they've tried to do with this coup d'etat against not just President Trump, but the American people. So let's stick together. Let's be MAGA first, okay? All right. Thanks everybody for listening out here for now, okay? Thanks.